Hey everybody, welcome to Campus Comics Cast, coming to you from Carbondale, Illinois, with special guests from the Campus Comics crew. And now, here's your host, the man with the previews in hand, Mike No.
Alright, welcome to the latest episode of the Campus Comics Cast. This is our monthly look at the previews catalog. This is the September catalog for items that are going to start shipping in November of this year. And this is Dan Brown, and I'm joined this time by
Scott Reed
and Mike Atchison.
Just letting everybody know too, kind of bear with us if there's any technical difficulties or the sound is a little weird or anything. We are still recording, via the internet. We're still not all meeting in the same place. Really social distancing here. But just let everybody know the store is open 11 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday. And we are at 816 East Main Street in Carbondale, Suite B. And if you want to give us a call, the number is 618-457-6011. And we just ask that everybody, kind of wears a mask, because that's, what is, the rules right now. And just, try to be mindful of everybody. And so we're going to start this time with the DC catalog. It's the online DC Connect issue. Was it number 4 now of this?
Yes.
And again, it's not part of the physical catalog anymore because DC has, got their own distributors now aside from Diamond. So if you were like, we've had a lot of customers ask, where's the DC catalog? This is where it is. It's not with the physical catalog anymore. You have to look it up online.
Dan, I want to say something about that. Do you guys have a preference of whether you see it online or the physical copy?
I've just been used to the physical copy for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a preference one over the other, but not everybody has reliable internet access.
Yeah.
Or, necessarily the time where they can sit down and go download it, find a place to download it, view it. They just soon flip through the catalog in the store and then turn in their order immediately. And that basically they don't have that option anymore. So
that's been an issue in a couple of years. So, and we're trying to accommodate everybody with that too.
Yep.
So it looks like the first big thing we have here is the resolicit of The Other History of the DC Universe by John Ridley. And this was, I don't know, was it
2018?
2018, right?
Yeah, there's an article in here where they interview John Ridley and they actually say that date. It's like on page, I don't know, 5 or 6.
Okay. I knew it's been a while on this because this was, when they launched the Black Label, this was one of the things they brought up. Yeah,
bottom of page 5. The question was, this series was first announced in January 2018.
Oh boy, so, it's been a while.
Yeah, over 2 years.
And it looks like we're finally getting it now. And so again, this is just sort of the DC universe through the sort of minority viewpoint. And we've got Black Lightning here, real big on the first issue here. And I think they're going to be looking through some of the other superheroes of color and those characters kind of going throughout this series. And right after that, we've got the Punchline special, which I'm sure everybody's hyped up for.
Yeah.
We've got, this breakout new character getting a one-shot here.
Is he officially a breakout character yet? I mean,
no.
I don't either.
I don't know. It seems like it's almost like DC's X-23, where they just keep trying to shove this character down people's throats. I don't know. We'll see. A little after that, we've got a couple more of the Tales from the Dark Multiverse specials.
Well, back on page 7, we got Batman 102, and then on page 8, Batman 103. And then, of course, we're getting a new character. And, I'll tell you what is this? This Tynan's what? What issue did he start at? Like 90? 89?
It was right after Tom King left.
Yeah, okay,
like
so
85, 86, something like that, maybe.
Well, the Punchline issue was 89, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so he's like 13, 14 issues in. How many new characters has he already thrown, at the Batman universe?
Right.
I mean, it's almost to the point of being absurd.
I'm not gonna fault the creator for creating. You know what I mean? We've had, rehashes of the villains over and over again, and this was sort of the mandate with the beginning of the New 52 back in the day, where they weren't allowed to use, pre-existing villains. I don't know how much we got out of that really stuck around. But again,
0.
there's a difference between cash grab, which is what this feels like, and just making characters.
Right, and because that was what's so nice about Tom King's run, is that he was just taking these long established, DC villains and giving them a nice new story arc. Right. Then he'd go on to the next part of the Batman's Rogue Gallery and give them a nice little story arc. And now we're just getting, what they're throwing stuff at the wall every single issue and hoping something sticks.
Well, I'll say the other side to that would be Alan Grant and Norm Brayfogel's run on Batman back in the day, because Alan Grant just wasn't keeping up with the Batman books at the time, so he created a lot of new characters just because he didn't know what the status of everybody was. And, I think we got some good long-lasting characters out of that run. So, fingers crossed that's what this is. Do I expect
I just hope it's more creator-driven. I hope it's more creator-driven than editorial-driven. And
right.
I agree. You're going to, whenever you're going through that process, you're going to have some, I don't care if it's a 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever, you're going to have some characters, some villains that stick and some that don't.
Yeah.
And
it probably won't be Punchline.
No.
But
no.
It might be one of these other characters that nobody's been paying attention to right now.
Although I'm not interested in another sword-wielding villain like this Ghostmaker. I'm not really, but having said that, I haven't read any of the issues.
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't really know anything about him yet.
Yeah. I wanted to say something about the history of the DC, the other history of the DC universe. I hope that they get into some of the more minor, obscure minority or characters of color in the DC past, and not just your Black Lightnings and John Stewarts and Kamatui. That's a interspecies, I guess, not interracial, but.
Well, they mentioned some of the characters that they're going to be involved. So besides Black Lightning, you have, now you'll have to educate me on these. Karen and Mal Duncan.
Yeah, that's they were in the original Titans run. Even though it quit and stopped or was canceled in the late 60s, early 70s, and then restarted again in the late 70s. And that's when Karen Duncan, it was the Bumblebee, and Mal Duncan had a variety of characters, or a variety of alter egos, such as like the Hornblower and Gabriel. He had this sonic-based powers.
Well, that's two of the characters that are going to be part of this.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I'm just looking at it, and they are pretty obscure, but I'm hoping they really dig into some of these other characters that, whether they lasted a few issues or several.
Dan, you were going to say something?
I think last I knew for sure, Mal was just going by Mal. I think that was his alter ego name too, kind of thing.
And then there's also Tatsu Yamashiro is one of them, and then Renee Montoya, is the other one that they mentioned in the solicit for that book.
Tatsu is Katana, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you have Dr. Light. Yeah. But yeah, there's a few that I would be interested. I think there's a lot of opportunity to give some exposure to these characters from the past.
Yeah. And there was a good interview recently with John Ridley too. I think on Polygon maybe, where he was talking about this book and kind of going into more detail about what the expectations are and things of it. So, but if you're interested in that book, that interview is worth checking out.
Yep, I'm definitely getting it.
So, after all that, we've got some new Tales from the Dark Multiverse specials. They're doing Hush and Flashpoint. I really like the ones they did before. Just these sort of darker, sort of what-if takes on these bigger stories with DC. They can kind of do whatever they want in them.
These are like obviously very cleanly set outside of the DC continuity, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I actually like these. I like these better than the main storyline, both the previous and this Death Metal, or this whatever it's called now. It's not just your Dark Knight's Death Metal. It's it's Death Metal. Yeah. But I'm interested in reading the the Flashpoint.
Next thing I have is on 21. So.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So 21, we're getting I had to scroll down to it. We're getting another Return to Sweet Tooth. Of course, Sweet Tooth is created by Jeff Lemire. I guess it was like his first big work in comics. I don't know that 100% for sure, but the solicit kind of makes it sound like this is where he really got started. And there's going to be a Netflix series. So they're basically going to give a return to the Sweet Tooth universe, I guess, just in preparation for the show premiering on Netflix at some point in the future. And I guess Robert Downey Jr. is involved in Sweet Tooth. He's listed here as the producer for the Netflix series.
Yeah.
I've not read this. Have either of you guys read the original Sweet Tooth?
I haven't. I know Jeff Lemire fans love it.
Okay.
So if you're a fan of his work, it's probably worth checking out.
Well, I didn't realize it was science fiction. I just looked at it and thought it was just some kind of random indie book, but I didn't realize it was a post-apocalyptic sci-fi story. So I actually am a little bit more intrigued in it now than what I was in the past. So,
he looks like he could be Marco from Saga's nephew.
Yeah.
The ears and the antler and everything.
Page
but
24.
I haven't read it.
Okay. Page 24, we've got a director's cut coming from Strange Adventures. It seems early to me for the director's cut to already be out, but
I feel like that's about how it was with Mr. Miracle, though, too.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And I wish we'd come up with a different term for these books. It's not a movie; it's a comic book.
Yeah.
It's like it just irks me. Just aping movie terminology for comics. I feel like there should be another term for it.
Well, I don't like editor's cut for sure, but should just be writer's cut,
creator's cut,
creator's
edition or something like that.
I agree. Creators, that's a good choice. I like that.
Are you caught up with Strange Adventures?
I still haven't read issue 1 yet.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's way better than Mr. Miracle.
I can't even remember now. Just because it came out right before everything hit, and now I'm not even sure if I've read it or not. I'll need to read it again before I read the rest of it for sure.
Well, I think at this point we talked about maybe doing a synopsis for the first 6 issues, so I will probably just read it right before we decide to do the first 6 issues. Is probably what I'm going to do at this point. So, but I'm getting it every month. So, page 27. So,
back on 26, real quick. We've got the Harley Quinn White Knight miniseries coming out, and it looks like we've got the Gray Ghost coming into it here on this variant cover. So, for sort of fans of the Batman the Animated Series, that was a pretty good episode, guest starring Adam West. And so it looks like they're bringing that character into this continuity here. So,
27, just mentioned in the next issue of Rorschach is being solicited. So once that starts hitting the stands, I think that's going to be we've kind of come to trust Tom King. So I kind of feel like that's going to be a decent series. So something to keep an eye on.
Page, I guess it's 32. We've got another one of these teaser images for this Endless Winter event that's coming, and we have this sort of barbarian prehistoric Wonder Woman. And behind this ice background, you can kind of see some faces in the ice pattern here. I can't really tell who anybody is. And again, it may just be new characters or something, but there's something going on. Any speculation, any ideas on what's going on here?
No, they give a little teaser that we thought he was dead, but he's back. So beyond that, no. I mean, I suspect Mike might have the best idea out of looking at these characters who they might possibly be.
I didn't even notice these faces in the surprint or in the background there until Dan just mentioned it. But there is another little teaser later on in this previews or this DC Connect with Batman, but it's similar. It's doing the right. It's doing what a teaser's meant to do, and by teasing us, we don't know what it means. But my interest has peaked a little bit.
My next thing's on 38, so.
I got one on 35, and I always hesitate to bring up Aquaman. But Scott, this isn't the movie, so you can rest easy. But it's one I haven't been picking up Aquaman for years, but I will.
Well, it's ending
I will
soon,
get
right?
this issue. What's that?
I think it's one of the books that's going to be ending pretty soon.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Sounds like there's some back and forth on that. I'm not sure if it's actually been announced yet or not.
Okay.
There's definitely rumors about it. But again, I can't imagine he's gone for too long.
No.
Yeah.
But you get the marriage of Arthur and Mira, right? Is what this one's about?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's guest stars of the Justice League, so I've always been a sucker for these wedding issues where you of the Justice League members, and just to see all the interaction. We'll see how it turns out. Do you have anything on 38?
Yeah, 38.
Yeah.
So we got Batman Superman issue 14, and we got a new villain alert. Composite Batman Superman. So was the difference that before it was composite Superman Batman? Is that why this is a new villain?
I can't see how that would count, but I'm sure that's what that's their angle.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Right.
which side is it?
That's almost what it has to be. So. Oh, but it is Joshua Williamson. Has he been writing this book previously?
Yeah, he's been the writer on it
From the beginning. Okay.
Yeah, it's
All
been
right.
pretty good. It's been a pretty good book too. I know we don't mention it on here very often, but yeah, it's been a pretty solid read so far.
Yeah.
So 42, 43, we've got the new issues of Detective. I don't got a lot to say about these. I just want to point out that Lee Bermejo is still doing these great variant covers for these books. He's been doing it for a little while now, but yeah, they've all been really great. Definitely worth checking out.
Nice.
Let's see. So 48, we've got Aquaman 29, last issue. We got some books getting the axe this month, and this is one of them. Hope you've been picking that up.
I have, and that really I'm just hate to see this series get canceled, because it was really on a good roll, and 29 issues in, I know, but I would like to have seen it continue, just like the rest. I mean, not so much the Teen Titans or Young Justice necessarily, but the Suicide Squad on it's a couple pages down. It's also at its final issue, and just these are all victims of the I don't want to call it the DC implosion from the 70s, but that's what some people have been calling it.
Well, I think Bleeding Cool's also been calling it the DC bloodbath. Seems accurate. So on page 61, we've got the last issue of this new run of Suicide Squad, issue 11. So they're not even getting 12 issues out of this. And it's been a really strong book. I've really enjoyed it every month. I just don't see how they're wrapping up this story by then. I wonder if, Tom Taylor has enough clout to continue this somewhere else in another book, maybe. I don't know. But again, we've got a new movie on the way. We've got a video game that they just hyped up at the DC Fandom event a couple weeks ago. I don't see them sitting on Suicide Squad for too long. I don't know why they wouldn't just keep this going, but we'll see what happens.
I agree. This is the Suicide Squad's strongest cast in the last several iterations, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, right after that, Teen Titans is ending. I've been reading that with this new run of this team. And Young Justice is right after that, being canceled. Trying to think, is this the last Wonder Comics book? Is Young Justice?
Ooh.
Oh, I think it probably is, because
everything else is wrapped up, right? Oh,
yeah,
Amethyst.
Amethyst. Well, it wrapped up last month, didn't it?
Oh, did it? Oh, yeah. Amethyst
was on its final issue last month.
Yeah.
And there's no current Naomi title.
Yeah. Dial H, it's not going on.
Dial H is not.
H is done.
Yeah. So yeah, it must be.
But I know Naomi's supposed to have a second season.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
The next page is that second teaser for Endless Winter.
Batman and his Kenner variant Arctic Winter costume. After that, we've got a new collection of 100 Bullets Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover coming out. What is this? So yeah, so issues 1 through 58 of 100 Bullets. So pretty good chunk there, that book.
Yeah.
I've never read this, and I don't know why. I should have at some point. I really like Azzarello, and I like Rizzo. It's like, I don't know why I never picked this up. I just never did. Mike, you want to talk about page 66?
Oh, you think you know me, Dan Brown. Dang it. I was like, okay, where's my opportunity to squeeze in on this? Okay, this speaks to me. This
The Authority Collection.
What's that?
The Authority Collection.
Yeah, the Amazing World of Superman, and this is the tabloid edition, which I already collect, and I have several treasury-sized, both Marvel and DC comics. But this is the second or third I've seen solicited. I have the New Fun #1 that was a hardcover that came out a few months ago, and this is also a hardcover written. It's basically a complete replica reprinting of the 73 tabloid, and it just reprints the origin of Superman, and includes lots of other Superman stories, Lex Luthor. It's got all that treasury size goodness, except in a hardcover, which makes it a little bit more durable than those original tabloids, which always seem to get tore up easily. So
that might be a reason to pick this book up, actually. Even if you have the original, I feel like this would be a better reading copy.
Absolutely. I mean, it's like, okay, take my $20 now. I mean, it's done.
Well, but if you notice here on the picture they've got, they still have the $2 cover price in the corner there. I bet it won't ship with that. But
probably not.
Still in the art.
Right. Well, thanks, Dan. I appreciate the segue there.
68.
Well, back on 67 real quick, I just wanted to point out we've got the Batman City of Bane collection coming. It's Batman 75 through 85 of Tom King's run. And the blurb on here does say the epic finale to Tom King's Batman run, which is supposed to be the Batman and Catwoman series, which still hasn't shipped.
Or even been solicited or talked about in forever.
So I'm not really getting my hopes up for that book at this point.
I'm holding out on those and they've been doing like a nice hardcover, like the complete Tom King Batman or something like that. I can't remember what they call it. And I've been holding out and getting those instead of the trades.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that someday we just get a big omnibus or something of it all.
Yeah.
Too. I can't see him not doing that with his run.
So page 68, they've got this DC through the 80s, the end of eras hardcover. And I really don't have anything to say about this book. Mike, you might, but they're using this exact same cover again, because this is what they had last month as the cover for that Alan Moore Superman story.
Yeah.
So you've got the potential where you could have two books sitting on the shelf side by side with the exact same cover that are two completely different stories. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have done that.
The one thing I wanted to point out about this book was, so we have, the final issues or sort of the pre-crisis continuity of a lot of these books, but they've also tacked on here the text of Alan Moore's Twilight of the Superheroes proposal, which was a book that they pitched that never got made, and it is sort of a Watchmen sort of Kingdom Come kind of story with the DC superheroes. Now, this has been available online for years. Like, I printed out a copy a long time ago. I've read this. It's worth checking out. I don't know. I'm assuming you can still find it online. I don't know. I haven't looked for it for years, but it's out there. And I can't imagine they've completely shut that down. So if that's all you want out of this book, you can get it. But again, this might be a little more complete. I don't know what all they have that's going to be in here, but there are some good books in here too.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of issues
in here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's also that neat little bonus thing in there. And it's not like Alan Moore is coming back to do more DC work. So if you're an Alan Moore completist, might be something to pick up.
I wonder if the DC has the rights to take his text of that story and have some other creator convert it or flesh it out.
I mean, I think they probably could, but then I think it's an issue of how much further do they want to drive him away?
I was gonna say, how much farther can they drive Alan Moore away? I mean,
anyway, they should.
The other part of that is if that got made in the way it was pitched, it would have been very similar to Kingdom Come. It's a lot of the same sort of beats. Now I'm saying I'm not saying one's ripping off the other or anything like that, but it is sort of a Ragnarok story for DC.
Yeah.
So if you've read Kingdom Come, you'd be like, oh, this is like that, but it actually predates it by I think maybe about 10 years. So.
Yeah. Okay.
One thing I have left on DC is the last page.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We got a lot of collectibles and statues and things in here, and a lot of the action figures. We've got notes in the catalog of the following products are still available for additional orders. So they haven't just chopped off DC Direct yet. We can still, if you see something in here you want, let us know. We could probably still get it in. Because I know everybody was kind of worried about that when they, made all these announcements a little while back. But yeah, I guess that's it for me. Do you have anything else, Mike?
Nope, I'm good.
I can't believe they put an advertisement in a digital book for an event that was over 2 weeks ago. So they have to ad for DC Fandom August 22nd, and this wasn't even available until a week or so ago. So
after the event, the weird thing about that is, though, as we're recording this, the Saturday coming up from now, the 12th, September 12th, will be the second part of the DC Fandom event. Yeah. So I don't know why they didn't just have the same ad but change the date.
Yeah. Tweak the 2. Yeah, just tweak the 208, turn that to 09, and the 22 into a 12, and you're done.
So, crazy. But even, if you're listening to this before then, that's when that's happening. If you want to check that out, I will be. So, and again, they had a lot of people view the first part, so see how that does. So moving on to the Marvel catalog then.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're getting a new Wolverine miniseries, Black, White, and Blood. So sort of like the Harley Quinn Red, White, and Black, White, and Red that we've been getting. So we're getting these sort of one-color Wolverine stories. I'll probably check this out. The Batman Black and White formula I think has worked pretty good. Some other books have kind of ripped it off and stuff over the years. So hopefully, I would think a lot of these guys working on here got at least one good Wolverine story in them. So we'll see how that goes. I don't have anything else for a little bit. Page, 18? Do you guys know they're doing a new Eternal series? And they're doing a ton of covers for it.
That's about right.
There's like 2 lists here of variant covers that are coming in. They don't really show them. They show a few, I guess, but.
Yeah, 30. I counted 38 covers.
Jeez. Yeah, I think that's what I read online too. I didn't even bother counting them.
And it's like they have some preview art for the interiors of the book, and it actually looks pretty good. Of course, it's Assad Ribic, right? So we're not sure how long. How long he'll stay on the book. Because he doesn't seem to do a monthly for a really long time. But that's a little extreme for covers for a title that's probably not going to last really long. I think Eternals is almost too high concept for a lot of people. So.
Yeah. Again, though, I really think Ribic's art will look really good on here. I really like these preview pages they're showing. Yeah. I think he's got a good tone for the book. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
I guess we get to see 5 of the covers here.
Yeah. On was it 28 and 29, where you got these Native American heritage variant covers they're doing. It's in this form line style. And there's some cool concepts here. They got some nice pieces of art here for the different characters and how they kind of work into their themes and things.
I kind of like the Captain American one, and the Danny Moonstar one are the favorite of mine of those.
Yeah, I like most of these. I can also see them turning these into merchandise and posters and different things too, using them later on for things.
We'll talk about that at the end of this catalog.
Yeah. Oh, so I don't know if this was in last month's catalog too or not, but I guess Spider-Man is going back to the previous numbering again. Like after 850, they're here we got issues 52 and 53. So I guess they're going back to the, I don't want to say old numbering because it's the new numbering.
Well, I think it was dual numbered for issue 850.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was dual numbered. So, backing up to page 30, we have that Marvel's Voices, Indigenous Voices issue 1, and I'm just going to mention that because we've got an Echo story in that book, and Echo's a character that I've really enjoyed, and she's getting a little bit of press because there's rumors of a Disney Netflix show. So she's been in the latest issues of Captain America.
Okay.
So she's been actually active, but here we've got a solo story. Well, I assume it's a solo story with Echo in that issue of Indigenous Voices. Page 37, we've got John Walker, U.S. Agent. It's a new 5-issue series written by Christopher Priest. So that is enough to get me interested in that book. Just Christopher Priest writing.
I like U.S. Agent. I'm probably going to pick this one up.
Me too. That's one I had flagged out of this catalog was well, first of all, I like Christopher Priest as a writer, and I remember reading some issues or some stories with U.S. Agent back in the 90s. Even though I don't know much about Marvel Comics, I remembered this being an interesting character, and I'd like to maybe renew that interest with this little mini series.
Yeah, and again, he's supposed to be on the Winter Soldier Falcon show, right?
Yes.
They've cast U.S. Agent on that.
And he's another character who was recently in the Ta-Nehisi Coates Captain America series. Yep.
Nice. Page 48. They might have anything before then.
Page 42. We got a new Taskmaster limited series, and I guess since the Black Widow movie got pushed off far enough that they had time to get in a Taskmaster 5-issue series. And I am a little upset.
This is one they announced before everything got shut down, though, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Yeah, you're right, because it's got a February order date. Yeah. But I am a little upset that it says that he murdered Maria Hill. So, because Maria Hill is a character that I enjoyed in the Marvel Universe. So, I'll probably be picking that up. She's apparently dead now. Yeah.
For good.
Yeah, she'll never come back.
Yeah. She's in the new Avengers game that just came out. So, 48, we've got Avengers 57 and X-Men number 4 facsimile editions. So, sort of, I think, first appearance of Scarlet Witch and is that the first Vision?
Yes, first Vision, first Scarlet Witch.
So, the Android Vision anyway, but yeah.
Right. The Silver Age Marvel Vision, not the Golden Age. Timely Vision.
What is it, page 55, Immortal Hulk. The only thing that really caught my eye on this was in the cover, the Alex Ross cover. We've got a reflection of the Hulk here. It's a real old school, sort of Buscema looking Hulk there in the reflection. Doesn't really look like Alex Ross's version of the Hulk to me, but just sort of like maybe more of an old school version of the Incredible Hulk there in the reflection. Thought that was kind of neat.
Jumping back to 54, this is another book that was originally solicited in February. 5-issue series, Power Pack. I wish they would have brought Louise Simonson back to write this. But if you were a Power Pack fan back in the day, then they've got a new 5-issue series.
I also saw in there they've got a Marvel Zombies variant. Do we need a zombie Power Pack cover? I guess it just depends on where they go with that.
Well, it's not necessarily going to have a Marvel or a zombified version of Power Pack on the cover. So sometimes they're completely unrelated to the issue. So.
You want to talk about page 56?
I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but if you're, this is something I feel like J. Michael Straczynski kind of handled for Thor.
Okay.
So we've got Thor issue 9 where they're bringing back Donald Blake. So it'll be interesting to see how long that takes. They don't say if it's going to go back to that situation where Thor turns back into Donald Blake. People have a lot of faith in Donny Cates. So I'm sure there will be some interest in this issue. And Thor right now is one of Marvel's best sellers. So
where do you stand on the whole Donald Blake thing?
Which one of you asking?
You, Scott.
Where do I stand as far as what?
Do you think it's a necessary part of the Thor character?
Absolutely not. So he's been without Donald Blake for so long now that it's yeah. And like I said, I really feel like J. Michael Straczynski took care of that back on his part of the run.
I didn't read that run. What did he kind of resolve that during his run? Or?
Yeah, there was. I'm trying to remember exactly how it played out, but he addressed. The idea of Donald Blake just kind of was just I shouldn't speculate without being able to say for sure exactly how it was handled. Right. But I felt like it was resolved. So,
right.
And even on the Simonson run, they'd kind of done away with Donald Blake as well, even predating Straczynski. So,
Mike, did you have any thoughts on Donald Blake?
No, dude, this is one of the few Marvel comics that I'm picking up, and I honestly I have such large gaps in my Thor reading, even though he's probably my favorite Marvel character. I've read a lot of Silver Age Thor, and he was a staple to the storylines then. So it wasn't really until the movies that I basically seen Thor without any Donald Blake involved. So I'm interested to see how this plays out.
My next thing is 64.
All right, yeah, go ahead. Me too. Go ahead.
Okay, so we got actually several really good True Believers books.
Yeah.
This month from Marvel. So we've got reprinting. I don't know what Incredible Hulk issue that is. Okay.
141.
141. Okay, yeah, there it is. I couldn't find the first Doc Samson. We got Avengers 48, the first Dane Whitman as the Black Knight, FF 52. First Black Panther. You got Avengers 83, which is the first Valkyrie. You got Thor 337, first Beta Ray Bill. You got Hulk 449, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
First Thunderbolts. Amazing Spider-Man 194, first Black Cat. There's an FF issue here, which I don't know. I don't remember that being the first Franklin Richards in FF 245. But I don't.
That
but
might
anyway.
have been, is that when his powers manifested, maybe, or something?
Maybe, yeah. So
I have to go back and reread it, but
yeah, I just don't remember. I'm not, I wasn't reading a whole lot of FF then, so I really don't know what's going on. And they also are reprinting like the first, I guess one of the earlier Iron Man Doctor Doom crossover stories. And then I'm not sure why they're reprinting this Venom issue.
Yeah. Well, it's a Venom event that this all supposed to be tying into, so I got to think there's something in there that relates to the King in Black story.
King in Black coming up, so.
Yeah, I've noticed too a lot of the Marvel books I've been reading that are getting canceled have their story will continue in King in Black.
Oh.
That doesn't mean I'm reading King in Black. Like, what does Valkyrie have to do with King in Black? Probably nothing.
But at least these are good. A lot of good books for $1.
Yeah.
If I hadn't already bought that Avengers 83 from you, Scott.
Well, there you go. So.
Well, it's also, again, with the True Believers, it's a good way to get some of those first appearances cheap.
Cheap.
You're not getting any of those books for $1 anymore.
No.
Page 67, Captain Marvel 23. Here's a chance for us to speculate. So we've got this new supervillain, I guess, showing up that's the child of Redacted and Redacted. And it's pretty clear that Namor is one of the parents. Anybody want to speculate on who the other parent might be?
What page are you on again?
I'm on page 67, Captain Marvel issue number 23. So meet the villain of the century. So more important than the King in Black, more important than Null, more important than insert any other villain that you want. All right, here it is.
So, we're saying Namor and...
I'm saying Namor and who's the other?
Kang.
Kang.
Some other alternate version of Kang.
There you go. Okay, I'm gonna bet against Kang, but I'm trying to figure out maybe the blonde streak is supposed to give us a clue in the hair. So, and I would assume that the character's too old for it to be Emma Frost. So I don't know who it would be. I don't suppose there's any possibility it could be Sue Storm / Richards.
No boy.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
but,
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like an alternate timeline future character or some nonsense like that.
Yeah.
That would be good.
So, but anyway, so that might be a book to watch for. So just with this character showing up, especially if they do something that would be sort of controversial with it. So.
All right. I don't have anything till the collections. You guys have anything?
I don't have anything till page 80. Let's see.
Okay. I'm on 90, so.
Okay, all right. I usually don't mention statues, but they've got the Marvel Comic Premiere Collection Silver Surfer and Thor, and these two statues together basically recreate the cover of Silver Surfer #4, which is that classic Thor on the Rainbow Bridge with the surfer coming in. So if that's a cover that you are particularly fond of, then these might be a couple of cool statues to pick up.
Yeah, and I feel like they still kind of work on their own too. Like you don't necessarily have to get both of them, but
the Surfer definitely works on its own. The Thor not as much, because he's definitely swinging at something above.
Getting ready to throw the hammer at
him.
Yeah. Page 90, we've got the Marvel Select version of Punisher. Welcome back, Frank. And so this is the first run of the Garth Ennis Punisher with Steve Dillon from back in the day. That was really good. But yeah, if you haven't read that, here's a chance to pick it up.
And I didn't care for it.
Really?
Yeah,
I
could not dig it.
I saw this solicit and I wanted to go read it again.
So I just read it like a few months ago for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just thought it was a little too silly. So
I mean, it's definitely not as serious as the Max stuff he would do later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that run. You didn't like the issue in the park in the zoo?
I had to remember what was going on in that.
Oh man, you were paying attention then.
Okay, well
you got another shot.
I just like that's part of the same series where he keeps shooting Wolverine in the groin. Is that part of that?
That's the monthly after this mini.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, where he runs him over with a steamroller and leaves him.
Yeah. That was just a little too over the top silly.
Yeah, that book got pretty over the top. Yeah. Page 111.
Well, 92. Actually, 91. I'll go ahead and throw this out there. So apparently, Peach Momoko is like the hotness in cover art right now. So Marvel's got a portfolio. However, there are only 12 prints inside of this portfolio.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
it's
$50. And DC's doing like the Art Germ and the Jim Lee ones that have 20 prints, and they're only $25. So I guess Marvel is expecting Peach Momoko to really sell some of these books. And then page 92, Dan, I think I'm going to buy this for you for your collection because I know you read every single book before it goes in.
I already have this. I'm not buying this. I will throw this back in your face. Haven't we talked about this?
I think so, yeah. But anyway, so you got the official handbook of the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition. So it's all the Marvel Universe entries. It's 1,392 pages of small print.
Yeah, more than you ever wanted to know about the 9 realms.
Yeah. Y'all have anything till the posters.
Okay, so 111, we've got the Vision and Scarlet Witch Saga of Wanda and Vision collection, and so this is some of the older 80s Vision and Scarlet Witch miniseries and some other books in there. Again, getting that out before the WandaVision show comes out. Read it now and then tell everybody how the show screwed it up. 114, we've got the Star Wars Legends Epic Collection, and this is, I guess, Tales of the Jedi Volume 1. And so this is a lot of the Dawn of the Jedi books that John Ostrander and Jen Risma did. Really good books. I think I'm still missing a couple of issues of these, but this was a really good run about sort of like the beginning of the Jedi Order and that kind of thing. And So again, a good Star Wars thing that Dark Horse did that Marvel's reprinting now. And I think that's it for me.
Okay, so on the posters page, the thing that really kind of bothers me is like they have the Native American Heritage Tribute poster. Why did they not just do one image on the poster? That way you can get the one or two that you like instead of putting all 8 of them on a single poster and you don't get a full-size image.
Well, I'm wondering what the text in the middle is because I can't read it.
Well, I bet it's the text that's over here in the solicit for it. I bet it's very comparable or a portion of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's just like a mission statement or whatever for it, but
yeah. Or maybe like this quote about Jeffrey, I can't pronounce his last name, Verej.
Yeah.
But I think they missed the boat on this. I think they should have released those individually.
Well, I could see doing both. I could see doing all of it individually and doing this one sort of master poster, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, the logic of their poster selection, still eludes us.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who's getting the King in Black Darkness Reigns Ryan Stegman poster?
Well, so you can just pull that out of the center of this previews, and you've already got it.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Right. Yeah.
I guess it's just not as big, but okay.
I don't know. Gotta get that Hellstrom poster.
Yeah.
Have they ever said why the character isn't just Hellstorm and gotten over it? Like every time, all I see is Hellstorm.
Yeah.
My whole life.
I'm not aware of any reason why, and who knows? Maybe it was a typo to begin with, and they just never bothered to correct it.
Probably.
That'd be the best, wouldn't it? If it's just been a typo they had to stick with all these years because they already did the trademark on it and everything.
Yeah, of course they made a they had to type on Elektra's first appearance, but they didn't. They've gone the way the correct way, I guess. So.
All right, so big book.
Big book.
All right, page
24.
One.
Page 1. All right.
We've got the Untold Tales of Chex Quest. And so this is the CD-ROM video game that came with Chex cereal back in the day that I guess has been re-released. And so they've done this one-shot tie-in comic anthology book, which actually has like Tom Scioli and some actually good creators in it. And so this is a free book they've done, which is out now. We have this at the store if you want a copy. But yeah, I guess they got this as part of Free Comic Book Summer now. But yeah, we got some of these in the other day if you want to check that out or if you're a fan of the game. Because I know there's some guys that are just super excited about that. Let's see, page 24.
24.
Let everybody know if you see something you like in here or something you hear us talking about, the orders are due by September 18th. So let us know at the store before then or that day, if there's something you're interested in so we can get it in for you. Again, things are still kind of crazy with distribution right now and everything kind of getting up and running again. So it's kind of the time to be vigilant about, if there's something you really want. So on page 38, we've got Darkness #1, 25th Anniversary Commemorative Edition. I guess it makes sense, but I wouldn't have thought it's been 25 years since the Darkness, but here we are. So, it's kind of reprinting the original issue by Garth Ennis and Mark Silvestri. And, I mean, I assume there'll be some extras and things in here, but I don't really see what all they've got going on here. Let's see. Page 66. Does anybody have anything before then?
Just page 56. I was going to throw out there that Die issue 15 is in the catalog.
Okay. I just want to point out on 66, we've got Spawn number 312, and they're still putting the world record-breaking comic banner at the top on the cover. So apparently they're going to milk that for a while.
Well, technically every issue that comes out it breaks the record.
Yeah,
so
I know. Oh, back on 50 real quick. We've got some solicits for some trades for Cult Classics, I guess. And we've got some Madman trades in here. And for some reason, we have Madman Volume 1 and 3. I don't know why 2's not in there. I assume that'd be the Madman Adventures book. But they're all worth reading. I'm not sure why, if they've got this in here, they let 2 go out of print or why it's not in here.
Page 69.
Nice.
We've got 2 issues of Walking Dead Deluxe solicited, so 2 and 3. So it looks like it's not going to take 193 months to get all the Walking Dead in color.
All right.
Back on 68. Back on 68, I noticed that even though I'm not picking up Undiscovered Country by Scott Snyder and Charles Soule, it looks like it's been picked up by New Republic Pictures for a franchise development. So that'd be interesting to see where that goes.
I did not care for the first issue of that at all.
I'm not the biggest Scott Snyder fan, so I'm not one to say, go after this, but it's. I just wanted to make note that it's Hollywood News is the caption.
On page 84, we've got the last issue of X-Ray Robot. So this was a book that kind of launched before everything got shut down. We got the first issue. It was really good. A lot of people were into it, and then, it kind of got halted with everything else. So, we are getting the rest of the issues here. And I think this says November 25th, so like right before Thanksgiving. So yeah, just kind of keep an eye on that if you're wanting that book, because that's one of those two that I could see flying under the radar for a lot of people. But again, a really good book.
Back on page 75, we've got the trade paperback for Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team, which is odd that it's being solicited the same month as issue 3 of the series.
Isn't it advanced solicited or anything? Or?
Well, I didn't look at that. So yeah, January 27th, whereas issue 3 is going to be November 4th. So probably early December for issue 4, and then the trade, end of January. So yeah, it is an advanced solicit for that issue. And then page 78, for fans of The Witcher, Dark Horse has given us another 4-issue miniseries for The Witcher: Fading Memories. And then I don't have anything for 177.
I wanted to mention page 80 and 81, they have a couple of spin-offs. This Barbalian Red Planet is a spin-off from Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer. I probably would pick that up, and I know that they're 2 issues into, I guess they're soliciting the second issue of Colonel Weird, Cosmogog, another spin-off from Black Hammer. But they're also soliciting the first trade for that spinoff, which isn't coming out until January.
On page 94, still in Dark Horse, we've got some Bill and Ted Face the Music merchandise. We've got a Wild Stallions patch, pin, and keychain from the new movie. I don't know if anybody else has caught this yet, but I watched it the other day. I really liked it. Thought it was really good. I could have handled a long version of it too. I could do about another half hour of this movie. I really liked it. So if anybody's checking that out, they might want to look into some of that stuff. Let's see. I don't have anything else till 108.
Go ahead.
So into IDW now, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Best of Donatello. I can't remember if I brought this up before with the other issue they did, but it looks like we've got a reprint book here of a bunch of different stories centered around Donatello, probably from the different comic series over the years and that kind of thing. And it's 100 pages for $6, so it's not like a big trade or anything, and it's pretty affordable, for that many story pages. So if you're a Turtles fan, it might be a good thing to check out.
Back on 103, we got a crossover between Lock and Key and Sandman called Hell and Gone. It's listed as a gem of the month. That looks interesting to me.
On 132, we've got Usagi Yojimbo Wanderer's Road #1. Again, a Peach Momoko cover here for Scott. And so it looks like this is another of the reprint, recolored stories that they're doing now, but they have a new #1 and a different title on it. So I don't know if they're going to be doing these as mini-series now, but it kind of threw me for a second when I first saw it because I thought it was just like a spin-off mini-series. But, so yeah, I think it's just a reprint, though, but it's not real clear about that, I think, on here. So if you're getting Usagi Yojimbo, maybe check and make sure you don't have that first before you pick it up. On 177?
Yeah, 177. Okay, so Berserker, here we have a solicit for Berserker 2, written by Keanu Reeves, Matt Kent. Now, my question is there is also, at the same time, there is a Berserker Kickstarter going on, and it has Ron Garney as the artist on the Kickstarter. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on between these two.
Ron Garney is replacing him, apparently.
Okay, replacing Alessandro Vitti?
Yeah, apparently, and then maybe they didn't have that in the time to, for this catalog, but that is the news I heard. So I heard about the Kickstarter too. I haven't really had time to check it out, but is it trades of this book?
It says we'll be releasing 12 epic comic book chapters and collected in 3 beautiful graphic novel volumes, each containing 4 comic book chapters. So I guess it's going to be traded 7x10. They're gonna let you pre-order all 3 graphic novels. Okay, so at Boom Studios we believe comic books. So I guess they are doing this in partnership with Boom.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe this is how we're gonna get the trades instead of so Boom is gonna do the individual issues and they're gonna kickstart the trades. Yeah. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense, but I'm surprised Boom would want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's probably a price they had to pay to get Keanu Reeves involved in the project.
Yeah, maybe.
I want to go back to 135. It's in the IDW section. It's the comic book history of animation, and I bought the 2 volumes of the comic book history of comics, which was a really cool, basically rendition of the history of comics, but in comic book form. So appropriate enough, it was. In the right format for a comic book reader, and it's as far as I can tell, very very well researched and accurate. So I'm not much on the animation, but I will vouch for the format of this historical book.
On 201, we've got the Art of Star Wars: The Mandalorian hardcover. I feel like this might have been in here before. I'm not sure. But again, it should be like some concept art and different designs for the Mandalorian show. Again, we see a lot of that on the credits of the show with their sort of concept paintings and things. So there's probably some cool stuff in there it's worth checking out.
Page 202. Yeah.
Okay.
The Marvel Value Stamps, a visual history hardcover by Roy Thomas. So that's those annoying things that get cut out of your Hulk 181s whenever you don't realize it. So I guess you're going to get the whole history, see all the available stamps, and it's going to be brought to us by Roy Thomas.
Yeah, and I'm going to buy this book, and I'm going to cut out all the stamps, and I'm going to sell it to a used bookstore.
There you go.
See how they like it.
And then on page 204, we've got a new title from Terry Moore, Ever, The Way Out. It's going to be just a graphic novel. And it definitely, from the solicit, sounds a lot like Rachel Rising as far as it's going to be a supernatural story. So I think this should be pretty good from Abstract.
Yeah, Stories. I had that flag too, Scott.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Try to be cool.
Oh.
210 in the Aftershock section, we've got Kaiju Score number 1. Yeah, so it looks like this is a group of guys pulling off a heist during a kaiju attack, it sounds like. So, again, sort of a cool idea. I definitely want to check this out. I think that's just a good idea, and it seems like it could easily be translated into a movie or something else.
So you didn't see the movie Hurricane Heist then, did you?
No, but I feel like we've got a better chance.
Because Hurricane Heist is terrible.
I would like to see Ocean's 11 meets Godzilla. I know there was, I'm trying to think, I think it was maybe Godzilla 1985, where there's a scene where there are some homeless people raiding a restaurant and things during Godzilla's attack. And again, you don't see a lot of looting and things like that in those movies, so I think that's kind of a good idea that, they haven't really explored.
My next thing's not till 313, so.
Okay, well, on page 222, I got a couple things here from Ahoy. We got the Billionaire Island collection, which this book was kind of interrupted by the shutdown and everything, but it's been a really good book. You know, if you can't find the issues or you're having trouble, pick up the trade. And then it looks like we have a new book called Happy Hour by Peter Milligan and Michael Bonenfant. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Where it says, in future America, being happy isn't just a right, it's the law. The Joy Police brutally enforce the Cheery Code. 2 young people go on the run, searching for a haven of melancholy where they can safely bask in the blues. Again, it sounds like it's something that's right up Peter Milligan's alley. I think this will probably be a good book. I'm going to check that out. Let's see. What else? Oh, on page 232, we've got The Impending Blindness of Billy Scott. This is Zoe Thorogood, and she's an artist I follow online on social media. She's been posting a lot of stuff from this book. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. This is like her first graphic novel. The description is, Billy Scott is an artist. Her debut gallery exhibition opens in a few months. Within a fortnight, she'll be completely blind. So that's kind of a cool idea for an artist, you know, kind of struggling with that. I think that'll be an interesting book. Want to check that one out. Let's see. Still no Avatar, Scott. Sorry.
What?
Nothing coming out from Avatar Press. You know, this till the final quarter, which we're definitely in.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
270.
Also, nothing from Boundless, I think.
Yeah,
the other one. Yeah.
All your multiple variants you like to get.
Yeah.
So on 271, we've got the James Bond Film Guide, the official guide to all 25 007 films, hardcover. And so again, this is like a reference book. And despite the lackluster kind of placeholder cover we've got here, this is something I want to check out. Looks like it's a guide to the different movies that we've had over the years, and it sounds like it's pretty extensive. So I'll check that out. Be nice to have a good guide for the movies. On 281, we've got the Tick Karma Tornado, the complete works. And so I want to say this is the first Tick book they did after the first series by Ben Edlund. And this is Christopher McCullough doing this. And I mean, I feel like this one's probably overlooked, but this was a really good book. It's just a fun, crazy Tick book. Let's see. On, 307, we've got Dial P for Peanuts graphic novel. So this sounds like it's a mystery with, they list them as Charles, Lucille, Sally, Patricia, and the rest. So this sounds like grown-up versions of the Peanuts characters. It's sort of a mystery book. So
it looks like Charlie Brown has some peach fuzz.
Yeah. I got some stubble going on there.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting take on that. We'll see how they dodge the lawyers with that one. Let's see. I think that's all I've got, I think, for the comic section.
Okay. Well, on 313 from Titan Comics, we've got a new #1 for Doctor Who.
Who?
So Doctor Who? Who? Doctor Who. So lots of connecting covers on that issue. So, and then what else do I got? Anything else? I think that's it for me on side 1.
Okay. On page 386, sort of in the T-shirt section from Graffiti, they're bringing back some of these cool Batman logo shirts they've done. So you got like the 66 TV logo and like sort of the Golden Age version and different things. So I will be picking them up because they don't make them in my size. But if you're looking for just some good Batman logo shirts, those are ones to pick up. And I think that's it for this side. Mike, you got anything else? Flip it over.
Yeah. Way back on 250, I've plugged every time I see one of these 100 Greatest Moments hardcovers. And the one on 250 is spotlighting Batman by Chartwell Books. It's a 304-page volume, and it's oversized. If it's the same size, it's 9x12 hardcover. So I have the Justice League, and I know we talked about they solicited the Flash version of it last previews magazine. So wanted to bring that up. That's all I had.
So flipping over to the other side with the merchandise, page 16, we've got the Marvel Select Rampaging Hulk action figure, just sort of like a classic-looking version of the Hulk. It comes with an alternate set of fists and an alternate Cosmic Hulk head. I'm not sure what that is. I assume that's a specific storyline or something. Looks like he got his face kind of messed up there. But I'm more interested in just sort of the regular, sort of standard Hulk on that. Let's see.
Page 20 and 21, we have another image of those Silver Surfer Thor statues from the Marvel catalog. They kind of show them kind of put together, but I'm trying to look at the statues themselves, and I don't know if there's actually a cutout for it. So it's just like they're overlapping the images, I feel like.
It doesn't look like they connect.
Yeah.
I think it looks like they've just got them like, I don't think they're on the same plane there.
No.
Like it looks like just a photoshopped image.
Yes, I would agree. Yeah, so which is kind of like a little deceptive there, I think.
Yeah. Again, would have been nice if they could have had them interlocked somehow that, still look good separately, but.
Page 30. Sorry, go ahead.
Page 34 is your thing before that?
32. I just wanted to mention the Aquaman 12-inch scale Trident prop replicas. They look about to be just the right size to be used for shish kebabs.
I bet they wouldn't survive the grill, though.
No.
Page 34, from the new G.I. Joe Classified series. They have this listed as Gold Destro 6-inch figure. This is based on an older figure with a pretty crazy paint application. If you're a G.I. Joe fan, you'll know this figure as Pimp Daddy Destro. I know Hasbro's not going to call it that, but if you're a fan of that, this is the new 6-inch scale version of that. Page 39, we've got X-Men Movie Legends 6-inch action figures. And so now, since Fox, Marvel, and Disney, are all on good terms and all under the same umbrella now, we're finally getting X-Men movie figures, which we didn't really get for a lot of the movies on their original run. So we've got some 2-packs of Deadpool and Negasonic, and then we've got Magneto and Professor X, and then an Old Man Logan and Hawkeye, again, not from a movie, but from the Old Man Logan storyline. And so we've got, some figures, Wolverine and Mystique and different things coming out, sort of, Marvel Legends versions of the X-Men movie characters. After that, on page 40, we've got the Masters of the Universe Man-at-Arms 1/6 scale figure. And this is by Mondo. And again, these are really cool figures that they make. They are out of my price range, though. And this one even is $190. So they're pretty steep there, but they are really nice figures if you've got the money for that. Let's see what I have here. I don't know what that was. On 43, we've got the Star Wars Mandalorian helmet prop replica. So it's says it's not a toy and is not suitable for children, but it's a wearable article of costuming for adults and meant for entertainment purposes only, and does not offer protection, Scott.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. It is the dreaded please inquire price, though. So I'm not sure how much that is, but if they didn't want me to get sticker shock, that probably tells you something.
Was that the Mandalorian helmet?
Yeah.
See if I can find out the price while you keep going.
Yeah, so on page 44 from Super 7, we've got the latest wave of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates action figures. And again, the first wave of these have shipped, and there's a lot of reviews you can find online. They're really nice, sort of 7-inch scale figures, a lot of articulation, a ton of accessories. Really nice, but just, again, out of my price range. It's a $45 price tag for one figure. And even in 2020, that's pretty steep. But again, if you're like a diehard Ninja Turtles fan, definitely, if you've got the money to spare, I'd say pick them up because they are really nice.
Okay, would you like to take a guess on the Mandalorian helmet?
I'll say $250.
Well, you would be wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so the site that I'm looking at, I'm guessing this is probably 20 or 25% off of retail. $686.56.
Good Lord.
Man, that's nuts. Yeah. For that price, it should be able to protect your head. It should be a fully functioning helmet for that price. That's crazy town. On page 47 in the Funko section, we've got the Pop DC Heroes, and we have breast cancer awareness pops of the DC characters here, where they're just sort of the Batman, Harley Quinn, Superman, and Wonder Woman wearing kind of shades of pink with their costumes for breast cancer awareness. So it says here Funko has made a $25,000 donation to breast cancer research. So I would think they would get a chunk of these sales too, but I don't know if they will or not. But again, more pops and maybe, doing some good. Let's see. And I think my next thing isn't till, what is it?
I don't have anything on side 2, so It's all you.
Page 69. We've got Animal Life Tipsy minifigures. Yeah, so it looks like sort of little figures here of animals getting drunk, maybe. I've got a bulldog with a beer and a panda and a moose and things. I don't know. I don't know if these are from something or if it's just like an original thing they're doing here. But it's a little... I'm not sure if they list a scale on here or how big these are, but it says it's like a blind box kind of thing, so I can't imagine they're too big. But just sort of a weird kind of thing in there. And I think that's it for me in this one. I don't think I have anything after that in this catalog, yeah.
So blank covers, we got Eternals, number 1. Symbiote Spider-Man King in Black, number 1. Mighty Morphin, number 1. Power Rangers, number 1. Unsacred, Volume 2, number 1. Doctor Who Comics, number 1's got a blank. Punchline Special, number 1 has a blank. And I think that's it for blank covers. I did forget to mention, I skipped over it in my notes, going back to Marvel. Captain America issue 25. One, I think Steve Rogers is getting the shield back. Actually, he might have already gotten it back. I'm trying to remember where I'm at in the story. But we're getting a new Agent 13. So I don't know if that's going to be Sharon Carter becomes young again, or we're getting a replacement for Sharon Carter as Agent 13. So that's going to happen in issue 25 of Captain America.
Oh, something else I forgot to bring up back in the comic section is Antarctic Press also has a book called Punchline that they've been doing for about a year or so, I think. Yeah, so we got issue 11 here. So I wonder what their thoughts are on DC coming out with a book called Punchline.
That's an interesting comment.
So, yeah, I'm not sure.
What page is that on, Dan?
What's that?
What page was that on?
That's on page 231. And again, that's been going on for a while. I remember the first issue of that when it came out, seeing it in the catalog a while back. But I know some other indie creators have had issues with DC doing things like that in the past. I'm not sure how that would shake out. I'm sure AT&T could keep Antarctic Press in court for as long as they want. But I don't know, if that's really worth it or not. But, just something interesting, and I would think that's probably ruffling some feathers over there.
Wow.
Yep.
Sure enough.
So, yeah. I don't know, if that'll ever amount to anything, but that's in there.
Good catch.
So Dan, what book are you looking forward to coming out from this catalog?
I think probably Kaiju Score. I think that's an interesting idea. I haven't picked up a lot of Aftershock books, but the ones I have, I've really liked. So hopefully that's the next one.
Mike, what about you? You got a book you're looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to the other history of the DC universe.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that Ever graphic novel coming out from Terry Moore. So this has a Rachel Rising vibe to me. So I think hopefully it'll be good.
I'm looking forward to it too, but I would say that, but I might get accused of trying to be cool. So I'm not interested in that book at all.
In Rachel Rising?
No, ever.
Okay.
Dan,
Okay.
Dan gave me a jab on
All right.
copying your statement. I could be like Ed McMahon and your Johnny Carson. Yes, sir, I agree.
So I thought you were going to say that hardcover of that Amazing World of Superman.
Well,
So.
that's a cop out because you guys know I like that historical stuff, even though I guess this other history of the DC universe is historical as well. But if it had to be something new, it'd be probably the final issue of Hawkman. I want to see how that wraps up.
All right. Well, Dan, you got an investment pick?
I'm gonna say X-Ray Robot number 4, and I think there's outright completists out there, and I think this is a book that probably original orders probably got canceled. I'm gonna think people aren't gonna catch on to reorder this book. I think it's maybe won't be as abundant as it should be. Hopefully I'm wrong about that because it was a good book, but I just see that as being something that's underordered and long term. People are gonna look for that book. I think. I think it had enough positive kind of press when that first issue launched before the shutdown and everything. I think people are going to look for that.
Mike, you got something?
I can tell you what it won't be. It won't be the new composite Batman Superman issue number 14. I don't know. I'm not great at this, but I'd say maybe that Punchline Special number 1, just in case that catches on. I don't know. Maybe Sweet Tooth, if that does turn into a successful Netflix series.
I'm gonna go with crossover number 1 out of Image Comics just because it has Donny Cates' name attached to it. It's gonna be it's a series premiere, and this is one of those books where all it takes is a rumor of a series or something, and that book could see a pretty substantial jump in value. Especially if you get one early on, a little CGC graded 9.8. So maybe just pull it off the shelf and send it straight in. So
I didn't get a chance to comment on that earlier, but that's the kind of story that really speaks to me. The whole, every story is a reality somewhere else, kind of like, the DC multiverse with Earth Prime is the Earth that we supposedly live on, and sort of reminds me of the Wrong Earth as well. So I'm definitely going to get that.
I don't know. My whole thing with that book is like, if you pitch that somewhere else, as a TV show or a movie or something, aren't they just going to say, "Hey, we already saw Ready Player One"? You know what I mean? I feel like it's just too similar to that to really have,
This is more
apocalyptic.
More apocalyptic though than I felt like Ready Player One was. So because Ready Player One's just they're all in a video game. This is.
Yeah, I know, but I think if you're telling a Hollywood executive that, are they going to make that distinction, or are they just going to say, "Oh, that's just like that other property that didn't do that well"?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Maybe, but maybe this property would cost a little less money because it's just a comic book as opposed to a book.
Yeah. So, anything else anybody wanted to bring up, or is that it?
That's it for me.
Okay, yeah. Again, just letting everybody know the store is open 11 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday. And we are at 816 East Main Street, Suite B in Carbondale. And the phone number is 618-457-6011 if you want to give a call. And this is Dan Brown. I am online at Detective651 on Twitter, Instagram, and TeePublic. And you can find me at the store most Saturdays. Scott, where can everybody find you at?
Scott Reed, burgcomics.com, BURG comics.com, and that has links to all my other pages, Instagram, Facebook, and eBay.
Mike?
At Mike Atchison 5 on Twitter.
And I think that's it for this time. I don't know what we're doing next time. We'll figure it out.
It'll be a grab bag.
Yeah, be a good time. I think that's it for this time. Thanks for listening.
See y'all.
And I guess I could just use the outro as the intro music as well if you want to keep the newer sounding one.
Yeah.
That is not my dog, for the record. He's sitting over here being super chill.